Sometimes when it comes to the ANC, it truly feels like lies just flow out of their mouths like little songs, just constantly. We just have this country where the police commissioner from KwaZulu-Natal makes an allegation against the minister of police. Our president hears about this, says nothing for a week, a whole week. Finally, on Sunday, he comes out and he's like, "Oh, yeah, we'll have a commission. It's all good." And then suddenly, within this country, there's almost like this mobilization effort, right? So a lot of people in the media immediately praise and hail the ANC for being this bastion of truth and anti-corruption. The ANC obviously pounds their chest and go, "Look at us doing all of these great things to try and stabilize the country and get rid of corruption." A lot of political parties will try their absolute damnedest to win political favor, either with the ANC or with the people against the ANC. The ANC, however, I think are starting to feel the pinch. Hey, just very quickly, want to interrupt and ask if you wouldn't mind smashing the like button and commenting. YouTube recently made a stealth change. The only view that counts according to YouTube is an engaged view. Someone that's watching the video, liking and commenting on the video. So if you wouldn't mind, it would really be a great help to me because it helps me bring my videos to more people so that more people can be informed and hopefully follow rational conversation when it comes to politics in South Africa. With that said, enjoy the video. Bye. They're not entirely sure what way to go. Just last night, we covered how the ANC, for the first time ever in the most recent political polling done by the Institute of Race Relations as well as by the GIS, have found that for the first time in the history of South Africa, the DA actually polls above the ANC. That is significant. It doesn't necessarily mean that the DA will win the next election, but think about this. For over 30 years of our democracy, in every single poll that has ever been done, the ANC has won by a landslide. And now, for the first time ever, we have the ANC actually coming in second. That is highly significant, highly significant. And by quite a margin. It seems like the ANC is actually dropping like a stone. Now, I realized there were some polls late last year that came out that said, oh, the ANC could be at 20%, but most of those polls were sort of dismissed very quickly by the polling community for not following exactly the sort of science of polling, if you will, and polls should never be trusted, absolutely. But you can see Mr. Mbalula, for example, coming out and trying desperately to make the ANC seem like a party that cares, right? Like a party that absolutely wants to safeguard and save the country from corruption. The issue, of course, is that every single time, and it sort of comes out right at the end of it, where the media obviously asks him about Jonah or Mr. Mugotsi, Brown Mugotsi, and he realized that he doesn't actually know what to say. So he's saying, well, I'm not going to talk about Brown Mugotsi because if he is a member of the ANC and I say something, he can say to the courts, oh, he already convicted me in a press conference, so I'm not going to say anything. But then he goes, well, if he's a member of the ANC, as he claims, he will be subjected to the integrity processes, and Integrity Commission will convene him to appear before it as a member of the ANC. You see, the problem with the ANC and what the ANC needs to realize is, yes, there's a lot of corruption, and yes, you guys try to pretend like you're tough on crime, but every single time there's corruption allegations in this country, the corruption comes from inside, right? It's literally like those horror films where the phone rings and it's the killer on the other side. I don't know if you guys remember Scream from like way back in the day, where the phone rings, the guy talks to the girl, and then she phones the police, and the police officer goes, "Ma'am, the phone call is coming from inside the house." And it's like, oh, right, that's literally what it is. Like every single time the ANC goes, oh, there's corruption. Who corrupted everything? And then the police goes, it's coming from inside the house, right? You guys are the problem here. It gets frustrating. Then you have, for example, I'm going to throw these stories together. You have, for example, Sibaya, who is one of the police officers implicated by General Hunkwanazi, in this incredible scandal that is playing out. And Sibaya, this is a very awkward story. You see, Sibaya doesn't get sort of sequestered or gets removed. He gets put on paid leave, the same as the police minister. The big issue here is it still allows him access to witnesses. It still allows him access to tamper with these witnesses. Of course, not as an official police officer, but he can still go around. He can still collect evidence. This is seriously problematic because obviously there are witnesses in these cases. There's people who may be able to blow the whistle. But when you have someone like Sibaya walking around freely, not being placed under observation, which you would almost expect is like the minimum, they can go around and do whatever. Now, Sibaya has asked the country not to jump to conclusions, not to pick a side. But I think South Africans are so sick and tired of the constant corruption within this country that when General Hunkwanazi came out and just told the South African public that this is what's happening, most of us were just ready to believe it. We would just think, yeah, that kind of describes and explains everything. Then you have, again, going back to Mr. Humbalula, trying to pretend like this isn't a big deal, this isn't a big story. And most of what he says, this is why I'm not even going through everything that he says, because most of what he says is so obviously political. So, for example, Mkwanazi raised important issues, and I dare say bravely so, and put them in the public, which is just politics speak for, yes, I have to say this because if I don't say this, people are going to accuse me of not taking it seriously. I wish I didn't have to take it seriously, but here we are, right? So what am I supposed to do? Ultimately, this story is now in what I call sort of the clown show of South Africa. There's going to be media reports and but until we have actual concrete evidence, I don't know if I'll be revisiting this story anytime soon, because it just, at this point, we need evidence and we need a lot of hard conversations. I don't believe that the commission is going to grant us that, because this commission has no authority. This commission cannot arrest anyone. It cannot follow any sort of legalese against anyone. All it can do effectively is investigate and make suggestions. The problem is that all of the previous commissions that we've had, the Zondo Commission most famously, amounted to absolutely nothing. No high-level arrests have been made yet. In fact, a lot of the people implicated still serve in government and are still part of the ANC. You've had Jacob Zuma that was arrested and then had a life-threatening disease, so he was let out, and now he's dancing on stage everywhere. So clearly, these commissions have shown themselves throughout time to be completely toothless and most of the time just a massive waste of public funds, which the government is very good at. So I guess that's where we are now. They'll just waste more money. Let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about all of this. I realize that most people are probably frustrated and sick and tired of the entire story, but I'd love to read it still because it does help out the channel a ton. Hit the like if you liked it, if you didn't, and I'll see all of you in the next one. A peace.